I'm Dr. Caroline Leaf, and welcome to the Dr. Leaf Show. If you haven't subscribed yet, go to the little red button and subscribe, and you'll get notified when new shows are out, and you'll keep up to date with all things related to mind and mental health. In the studio with me today, I have a very special person, Dr. Jason Littleton. Thanks for joining me, Dr. Jason.
Thank you.
It's so nice that you've come to spend some time with me. Dr. Jason is part of my Integrated Mind Network, one of my team of doctors that is brilliant and does all these brilliant things. He'll be at my conference this year as well. And I'm just thrilled that you're here with me today. And I'm so pleased because we can talk about your new book, which I'm really excited about. You sent it through to me just a few weeks ago, and I've read through the book, and it's fascinating. So this is what the book is. It's called Wellspring, The Energy Secrets to Do the Good Life, Energized Again. And you really emphasize energy. Absolutely. And I love that because energy is quantum. Quantum means energy. And I teach so much on quantum physics and the quantum mind and energy. And will you just do a quick brief walk through the book?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, Caroline, thank you for having me on the show. Listen, I'm fascinated by helping people to have more energy because I understand that there are people out there that are tired. They're not getting their goals done. They're not getting their life done. I've never met a person that doesn't have something important to give this world. I've just met people who haven't discovered it. And one of the true factors I've found in my clinical practice is that people aren't getting things done because they don't have enough energy. They feel like they don't have enough time. So my book, Wellspring, Energized Again, it's about giving people practical steps, routines, so that they can get their life done and feel energized, feel passionate, and really feel like they're in control of their life.
That's really good. You make a point there of being in control of their life, being in the mind business and being a mind specialist. That's one of the top questions that I get is being in control of their life and having the energy to be in control of your life.
Right.
So, Jason, you practice concierge medicine. Can you just say a word about that, and then let's bring it back to why energy and why energy in medicine?
Well, thank you. Most people do not know what concierge medicine is, but what that is, it's private executive medicine. It's medicine that's tailored around you. It's tailored around the patient.
So cool.
And, it's retainer medicine. It's membership based. As a primary care physician, I take care of people, and I'm able to spend an unlimited amount of time with them. In insurance or conventional medicine, doctors are limited. Usually patients wait in the waiting room, sometimes several hours to be seen for only 15, maybe 30 minutes tops.
And what can you do in that time?
Exactly. People have real medical problems. And when you're dealing with people, when you're dealing with their concerns, it's more than just dealing with diagnosis. You're dealing with a human being that has concerns, fears, anxieties, in the midst of whatever clinical issue that they're dealing with. So when in concierge medicine, we have the time to spend hours on end with people, to look them in the eye, to take a deep breath and go through what is necessary to help them to have the best health of their life and the understanding of their health.
So what you're telling me is literally that you practice old-fashioned medicine.
Exactly.
The days when the doctor would do the house visits and there was no limit on the time and you dealt with the whole person.
Exactly. It is old-fashioned medicine. And I do make house visits. And people love that because they feel like, you know what, my doctor cares about me.
That's amazing.
They care and they're listening. And that honestly is the number one complaint in conventional medicine, that maybe doctors don't listen or they don't care or they don't have time for me.
And I think they're so frustrated because I know I've got so many friends that practice medicine, and that's one of their main things is that they want to spend more time with the patients and deal with the whole person, because we're a whole person. We're not just our body with a physical pain that we feel. There's so often a story behind it, as we know with the mind-brain connection.
Right.
There is in the mind-body connection.
Right.
There's inevitably a mind component to whatever ailment they're experiencing in their bodies at that time.
Yeah, I like to tell my patients, hey, we're spirit beings. We have a soul and we live in a body. And the mind's part of the soul. And so, when we're dealing with human beings, we're not just dealing with disease. We're dealing with a human being that has concerns just like we do and has a story.
That's the thing, and it has a story. And you deal with a lot of executives as well in your clinical practice, and dealing with a lot of stress and a lot of not always managing stress and everything. But let's come back. We're going to talk more about that. But I want to come back a little bit more to your book in terms of the energy component. Why have you focused so much on energy? There must have been. Is it something from your practice that you picked up from? And what do you mean by energy?
It's so interesting. Earlier today, actually, in my travels, I had that exact same question posed to me, and really, it's a personal story. I mean, I focus on energy because, first of all, I realized there was a time in my life where I was really tired. I think about my residency and the long hours that I had to spend, being up 30 hours on end as a resident doctor, having to take care of patients to stay mentally focused and charged up. That was not easy. It felt like boot camp.
Yeah.
And I know what it is to feel tired, to feel burnt out. Okay, and that's a whole other thing. There's fatigue, there's tiredness, and then there's feeling burnt out.
Yeah.
And I've been all over there. And one of the things that I really struggled with is not feeling a sense of accomplishment, because I felt like after I got home after the end of the day of work, I still had goals I wanted to accomplish, and I just couldn't do it. I would go to bed. And when you go to bed without accomplishing your to-do list, you wake up the next morning and you do not feel great. You don't feel at your best. You feel like something's missing in your life.
Yeah.
And I hated that. And I know that there are people out there just like me who want to get things done. Because when you get things done, tired or not, there's a sense of accomplishment. There's a sense of empowerment. And there's a sense of control. You're taking back your life. You're accomplishing your life. And you're making a difference not only in your life, but the world.
Well, that's very good, because essentially what you're saying is you don't make a difference in the world, which we're all designed to do if you're out of energy.
Exactly.
And it becomes very much a mind management process.
Yes.
Because everything's driven by our mind.
Exactly.
Everything. So that energy is coming from how we're viewing our situations.
Right.
How we're looking at the situation, and how we're looking at just the day-to-day, as you say, burnout with physicians and burnout with, but it's everyone. It's not just physicians. It's the common. We get thousands of emails, and that is such a common thing as well, that people feel very burnt out and they don't have enough energy, and they lack motivation and they lack hope. And
Well, Caroline, in my profession as an MD, there's a high rate of depression. There's a high rate of even suicide, okay? Because you have to understand, in the conventional realm, doctors such as how I used to practice, they're seeing 32 patients a day. Every 15 minutes.
32 a
there's
day.
There's a lot of unsatisfaction that comes with that. There's a lot of burnt out. There's a high rate of divorce, and physicians. And dentists as well.
Yeah.
And these things run a toll. And when you feel burnt out constantly, when you feel like you're not making any headway with your goals or your life, that's a problem.
And everything's like half done. It's not completed. So there's
half done.
And the potential to make mistakes.
Exactly.
Is massive, isn't it? In working in that pace.
And it happens all too often. It happens all too often. So I wrote this book with that in mind. I wrote this book to help people say, hey, wait a minute. There are steps you can take to take back your life. There are steps you can take to feel empowered, to feel like you're getting your goals done, to feel energized. If you eat differently, if you train differently, if you think differently, you too can have energy, and you can get there, and you can accomplish your life.
And to do all of that, you have to get your mind right. So you have to get your mind right to choose to eat right.
Exactly.
Mind right to do the exercise. Mind right to actually choose to get your mind under control.
Yeah, and that's powerful. You have to do that. I write about that because it's about habits. Nothing happens if you don't have good habits. And having the right thinking. You always say the mind changes the brain. Having good habits is the vehicle that gets you there. But in order to have good habits, you have to change the way you think.
Exactly. It's vital. Without changing how you think, people are just going to stay in that rut, and it's just unnatural for us as humans to stay in a rut and to get stuck. And that's why people get so frustrated.
You said it, stuck. People are stuck.
They do get stuck, and then they lose energy, because when you're stuck, you lose energy.
Exactly.
So you have a couple of little cute fun things, but I want to hone in on the 5-minute thing a day.
Yeah.
Because I thought that was very good. Because you tell someone to do exercise and become such a mountain, they do nothing.
Right.
You tell someone to change their diet to become such a mountain, they do nothing.
Yeah.
So I would work with my patients in my clinical practice we would take one little step at a time, and I like the way you've captured that idea as a 5 minutes. So you're kind of like tricking your mind. It's only 5 minutes a day, but
exactly.
So just talk a little bit about
that. Absolutely. Thank you. So again, I tell people when it comes to just cardiovascular exercise, but it can be applicable to many things.
Get the heart beating there. Get the heart going.
Exactly. If you take 5 minutes 3 times a week, and sometimes I say it that way for shock value, but the truth of it is that if a person pushes themselves, and we all know when we're giving our best, doing a cardiovascular routine, that 5 minutes can translate to burning great calories, to losing weight, to getting your heart rate up, to actually getting in your exercise routine when you're on a busy schedule. And here's the key. When you do that and you hit it every single time, there's empowerment because you said, guess what? I checked this off my list. I exercised today. I completed the 5 minutes. There's a sense of accomplishment. You just earned a win. And you want to collect these wins. And I did in a way so that it's palatable. Everyone has 5 minutes. I've never met a person, no matter how busy they are, that doesn't have 5 minutes.
You can always find 5 minutes.
You can always find 5 minutes.
You can drop down to the floor quickly between things and do your little workout there.
And if you can't, that tells me it's a mindset issue.
Exactly, which is what blocks people is mindsets.
Exactly. So what you do, is when you exercise for 5 minutes and you get that under your belt and you say, hey, I got this, I've mastered this, you could add another 5 minutes. You don't even have to add it like that in terms of incremental. You can add 1 minute, depending on where you are. Yes. You can go 6, 7, 8 minutes, or you can do 5 minutes, at a time and add that. But what it is doing, it is creating a habit. It's changing the way you think about exercise.
That's wonderful.
So you let that build in your life.
And that's something manageable, as you say. They do something and they achieve the goal,
right? And
they're building that habit, and it's 5 minutes, which is so manageable. And I think that's what we need to give people is the manageability of a 5 minute little block of time.
Exactly.
To just start changing, and that's even with your mind. So many people have said to me in the past and still say I can't. And then I always say to them, I can't is a decision.
Yeah.
Rather go, I can do that.
Exactly.
5 minutes.
I don't want to hear I can't.
Minutes. Exactly. I can do 5 minutes of being positive in the day.
Right.
I can do 5 minutes of that exercise. I love that. That's a big. And
exactly.
Do your patients respond? Do you find that it's
absolutely
it's a good technique to get
my
people
patients
going
respond, and I get testimonies saying, hey, I can do that. And even people who haven't read the book yet, or people who are not a patient of mine, when they hear me talk about the 5 minutes, they're like, hey, wait a minute, I can do this. I can do this.
Yeah.
And then, they get engaged and they start doing it, and it changes their life little by little.
We had that comment when we did the podcast, because you've done some podcasts with me, and when we put it up on social media, we found there was quite a few people commented, hey, I can do 5 minutes.
I saw that.
So it's great. It's definitely to start getting that energy back. Okay, so tell us some more of what's in your book.
Well, one of the things I like to make acronyms, and so I made an acronym as I was writing the book years ago, called MEDS. Move, eat, drink, sleep. I thought that
Okay, say that again. So
move,
MEDS.
eat, drink, sleep.
MEDS.
Yeah,
very good.
And those are my four. MEDS. Those are my 4 elite health laws to have an elite health. And I put it that way because really it's a play on words. If you do this and you let this build in your life, perhaps you can get off medication, okay? And let your routine be the medication.
Exactly.
Move, eat, drink, sleep. It's a recipe to success. And what we're trying to do here is to get people to make little changes. And I always have a play on my name, little changes make a ton of difference. We're trying to get people to take these steps and work that into the fabric of their life.
Yeah.
So that now, they're building longevity off of good, healthy habits, off of good, healthy exercise, off of good, healthy eating and thinking, getting good sleep, eating the right foods. This is how you live a life of longevity, energy, and passion.
Well, that's just the sleep one alone. I mean, just when you're sleeping properly, when you don't sleep, it messes up your whole neuroendocrine system.
Absolutely.
You've got the whole problem with the hormones that control hunger and satiety, and those just go crazy. And people don't realize. You think that not sleeping is not such a big deal, but it is a huge deal. But one of the things around that whole sleeping thing is for people to relax into, because everyone's got a slightly different biorhythm. Because I'm sure you get asked all the time, I do, how many hours a day should I sleep?
Right.
And people get so caught up in laws, and that's the point I want to make. You've given them a guideline with meds, but you're not giving them laws.
Right.
You're giving them guidelines, because once people take ownership through the mind involvement, once you take ownership, okay, I can do 5 minutes, I can get that moving for 5 minutes, I can start working on my diet for 5 minutes, I can start trying to work a little bit more, relaxing at night or whatever, making a plan to get to sleep sooner, later, whatever, but to get decent sleep. You're giving people something very positive and focused.
Right.
That you're giving a person the energy to actually move forward.
Exactly.
And do you find your patients do this?
Yeah, I'm finding people are reacting to this message. I'm finding that people are taking the guidelines and taking ownership of it. Like, for example, one of the guidelines when we talk about sleep that I talk about with people is kicking the TV out of their room. No, listen, if you don't have sleep problems, you don't have to do that. But if you do have sleep problems, you have to do everything it takes
to
make
those lights out, all the shining, there's the lights you plug in your charger and it's got a little light, your computer's flashing there, all those little things can increase cortisol at night. And that affects your sleep.
Right, absolutely. And one of the things people will always catch me saying is you have to make your bedroom like a spa. Your bedroom should be spa-like, so that when you enter your bedroom, you exhale. Everyone, when they come home, after a long day of work, they come home, and their home, in a way, is a fortress, so to speak. It's like a defense. You come in, you kind of exhale. Whether you realize it or not, you're like, hey, I'm home.
That's true.
But then, when you go to your bedroom, you should have another level of exhalation, because your bedroom should be kind of like a sanctuary, so to speak. It's a place that really the world can't come into. It's a place where you come and you find relaxation, where you find peace. You shouldn't have bills around your bedroom. You shouldn't have, newspapers around your bedroom. Anything that gets your mind or triggers some type of...
You want to be winding down.
Exactly. You want to be winding down.
Up. You don't want to get into bed and just dealing with some major issue or business discussion or whatever. You want to just be winding down and save that for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because it's also not going to give you energy
to
try and discuss something that you're trying to resolve when you're tired. Right. And that's going to drain your energy.
Yeah.
So what we're talking about here, what you're talking about in your book, Wellspring, The Energy Secrets to Do the Good Life, is we need to decide what we want in our mind at all times.
Right.
Because what's in your mind is going to determine the quality of your food choices, the quality of your sleep, the quality of your exercise. I mean, if you're not putting your mind into it, you may do your 5 minutes, but it's half-hearted, instead of really pushing and doing that 5 minutes with the energy that you should.
Right.
And then it feeds itself. It's like your brain responds. Our brain and body are designed, aren't they, Jason, to respond to our mind.
Exactly.
So once you get your mind telling your body, hey, do it.
Exactly.
Which is what I'm hearing you saying with your 5 minutes.
Yeah, and that, if environment sets the place for how we think. So if you have things for example, just referring to the bedroom and sleep, if you have things in your bedroom that trigger worry or fear or, anxiety, that environment can be toxic to your mind, toxic to your thoughts. And you can take on thought patterns that you shouldn't otherwise have had if your environment was changed.
Talk more about that.
So, that's why I always tell people that they have to set their bedroom like a spa. It should be a place where there's calm, peace, and it makes them, listen, as a Christian, when the bedroom should be a place where you can communicate with the Lord. It should be a place, you can communicate with the Lord anywhere you are. But, again, your bedroom should be a sanctuary where you're able to come, rest, have peace. Now, this is not a place where you argue. This is not a place where, you're making huge business decisions. Now, the bedroom could be a place where you get inspiration from the Lord.
Yeah, that can happen. You suddenly get excited.
And you can make business decisions based on that.
So we're not making a rule here that, hey, you suddenly get this amazing business idea, or you suddenly have this great inspiration.
Right.
You want to chat to your husband or wife about it. So you're not making a rule, but in general, don't bring the pain. I'm hearing you correctly.
Right.
Don't bring
the world into your bedroom.
Don't bring the worries. Yes, don't bring the worries, because you're not going to solve everything today anyway.
No.
So one needs to put that off to tomorrow.
Right.
And you talk about that in this kind of thing in your book, don't you?
Exactly.
You talk about the good life. What do you tell your patients when you talk about the good life?
Well, the good life is that God-given message and passion and life that He wants you to have. And in order to get...
I like that. Do you mind saying that again?
The good life is that God-given message, life, the things He wants you to have. And the way to get there is through consistent routines. Faith without works is dead. The works part of it are routines. The way you think, the way you implement routines, that's how you get to what the Lord has for you. You have to be able to have a systematic approach to everything that you do. And a systematic approach is actually just the outside manifestation of the way you think. If you don't think right, your actions won't be right.
Exactly.
Okay? So, it's so important that, you set your life, you set your environment up, you put certain routines in your life so that you can be on the path to God's best.
I love that. So what I'm hearing you say, Jason, is that order and structure and systems and routines are very important. But that's a choice people have to make, don't they?
Absolutely.
And do you ever find, with all the experience within clinical practice, that you tell this to your patients and they sit there and you just know, like, one come in your practice and you'll tell them all this and you just know they're going to do it. And then the other one that comes back and they come back and they come back and they just start doing it.
Yeah.
They're just not getting in that flow. And
right.
I found that as well. I used to do it in my clinical practice. I would always have a documents that they would literally sign as a commitment and say that this is where we work in cycles of 21 days. We work for 63 days, and then you are actually going to be on your own and come. And if you don't at any point, when they needed support, they got support. But if you're not going to do the stuff, there's only so much that I can facilitate.
Exactly.
And I found that really powerful, because people then realize they didn't dump their problem on me. And that's what I want to ask you. Do you find that people have been conditioned to come to the doctor, specifically the PCP?
Right.
It's like use a specialist, so you the PCP, fix me,
right?
Give me the prescription pad,
right?
And when you don't just give them a pill, do you find there's a level of maybe frustration that they, you tell them, hey, no, go change your mindset, go change your diet, go change your exercise routine, go change your sleep patterns. Your prescription pad looks slightly different to
Yeah. So and I talk about this in the book. I'm a dot connector. What I mean by that is
the dot connector.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a dot connector. What I mean by that is in between the dots, the patient has to take responsibility to take the guidance that we have and to fill the lines in, okay? Because I'm going to set the dots up so that at the end of the day, we form a beautiful picture with my instruction. But the patient has to take ownership. He's got to make the line in between the dots. And what I'm saying here is that, so I will give people advice, a prescription, a routine. Now, they have to decide. They got to draw that line in the sand. They got to dig their heels in and say, look, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
They're going to make that choice.
I'm going to make the connection. And that's what it's about. But of course, we all have patients. We all have clients that sometimes don't make that connection. And that's where we have to work with people on their level. Now, again, you can't change a mind if someone's unwilling to allow you to change your mind. And again, it's not really me changing the mind. It's they're changing the mind. They're making decisions. Like you said. They have to make a choice. They have to make a decision.
That's only they don't make that decision, they're not going to move forward.
Exactly.
Jason, is there anything else that you want to talk about in this book? Energized again. I mean, I like that. Energized again. There's a hopeful statement there.
Yeah.
Energized again. You can get energized
exactly.
again.
This is a book about people who may at one time have had energy, lost it, and this is a way how you can get it again. You can come back. And I have a chapter in there. It's called Energy Comeback, because I know that there are people at one time, and sometimes it's just that, hey, I was 20. I remember when I had energy when I'm 20, but now I'm 40 and I don't have energy, or I'm 50 and I don't have energy anymore. Well, you can have that energy again.
Don't you find that they also think that that's normal?
Well, exactly. Yeah. I find that, sometimes people think that, first of all, I think people realize that it's normal to have energy and to lose it. It's normal. Sometimes I find people who have never experienced what it's like to fully be energized.
Wow. So they've actually just never,
they don't know.
Even as a child, it can happen, can't it? Even as a child. Child with today's obesity epidemic and
oh my gosh,
hot housing children and.
Well, hey, that child is inheriting the patterns of their father and mother, whether it's how they eat or what they think about exercise, or what they think about routine. So, unfortunately, a child who's dealing with obesity sometimes is inheriting like the thought patterns of their mother or father or their environment. So we want to change that.
Exactly, and it can be changed.
Yeah, I would say the last thing I'd want to say in reference to this book that I really think is important, it's divided in 3 sections, okay? Inspiration, concentration, execution. And there are a lot of books out there that will give you 10, 20 steps on how you can change your life with nutrition and fitness, and I do that. But one of the things I've decided to do is I put that in the execution part, which is at the end of the book, because I want to work with how people are inspired. I want to work with their minds first, because I found in clinical practice that if I don't change the way someone thinks or looks at their life or connect what they're passionate about with their health, it doesn't matter if I give them 100 tips on how to eat better or exercise. It won't capture. They won't process it. They won't do it because, they're still hardwired on their previous and former habits. So what I want to do is I want to change the way they think by connecting what they're passionate about, and then then give them the tips and the advice, because now they're going to take that and run with it, because they're going to say, hey, wait a minute. I've got to give this to the world. I've got to be the best mother or father. I've got to be the best cook. I've got to be the best doctor. Whatever they're doing, I have to be the best book writer. So I want to live as long as possible, and I want to have the energy. And so I'm going to take these tips Dr. Littleton's giving, Dr. Jason's giving, and I'm going to run with it because I want to change my life so I can change others.
So you said a very key thing there is that they literally have to evaluate and look at their life. They literally have to stand back and see, am I satisfied? Am I achieving? What am I not doing?
Right.
What's stopping me and blocking me from getting what I instinctively know is there?
Exactly.
Once again, very much a mind decision. So
Absolutely.
This is very unusual in medicine today to find such an emphasis on mind. Although I work with so many doctors, there's so much, there is an awareness we have to change lifestyles.
Right.
Because people are dying 15 to 25 years younger from preventable
illness.
Diseases.
Yes.
It's crazy. So we have a goal to perform. Well, Jason, I'm so glad you were here today, and I'm so glad that you are coming back again, because we've already invited you back again.
Thank you.
And I'm thrilled that you're going to be at my conference this year.
Yes, I'm excited.
It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be amazing.
It is going to be amazing. So you'll be able to meet Dr. Jason in person when you attend my conference this year in December 2018 in Dallas, where we're actually going to, Dr. Jason will be part of our Q&A panel. He'll also be doing a presentation, and this is an exciting time for you to connect and see the link between science, the mind, the brain-body connection. These are scientists. We're scientists, and we're showing you that your mind can change your brain, that when you understand how the power of your mind, you can make changes in your life. Thank you for joining us today, and I look forward to seeing you next time. I'm Dr. Caroline Leaf, and I'm so excited to tell you about my conference this year. We've got more sessions, we've got so many new exciting things, and one of the things I want to tell you about that's amazing is my Integrated Mind Network are going to be joining me again. This is a group of amazing doctors, neurologists, neuroscientists, neurosurgeons, MDs, PCPs, endocrinologists, OBGYNs, brilliant men and women who are going to be helping us to understand the mind-brain connection in terms of science. So there's going to be a Q&A with them. They're going to be doing individual presentations. It's going to be mind-blowing, because you're going, in the good sense, because you're going to be seeing a lot of just how you can apply your lifestyle changes from a medical and scientific point of view. We've got more sessions. We've got so much happening. Join me this year in December in Dallas at my 2018 conference.